screen.
Oh my god, that would be hysterical.
I know, right?
And we are live. Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Blog Talk. Not Blog Talk. Good God. You can tell it's been a long weekend.
Yeah. What's Blog Talk? Never heard of
What?
it.
Yeah, that was our old home. We're now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Inkler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Yellow.
We want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by HomecircleMedia.com for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out HomecircleMedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, and commission needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox. That's KAYCIFOXX on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, good evening, everybody. Hello, Mario. It's great to see you in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our scheduled guest, Josie McCoy, had to reschedule yet again due to another scheduling conflict, which, as a voice actor, we totally understand. Their schedules get hectic, busy, and we have a lot of respect for the work he does. And so we will work on rescheduling him for a future show when the schedules will allow. Fingers crossed that it's soon because we've always enjoyed chatting with him. Uh, Due to the fact that it is Super Bowl Sunday, Angela may or may not join us. We're not sure yet. She said she might be in limited capacity. So if she does join us, wonderful. If not, then we'll talk crap.
Yep.
About Shonen.
Yep. Because why not miss? Why miss the opportunity?
Why not be the isekai trash that treats Shonen the way that Shonen trash treats isekai?
Yeah, and let's bring on Ecchi and Harem just for the hell of it.
But tonight we're going to have a lot of fun. Hello, Ross. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I
Yeah.
know we are going up against the Super Bowl, and it is what it is. And I am so thankful that you amazing people. Hello, Kaya. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, before the show, I told Darren that I was going to make a sound, and I wanted to see if he could say what it was, knowing he's into the weeb culture like we are. So, are you ready for this noise?
I guess.
So, can you guess what that was?
And one more time.
I cannot do it again.
Oh my god. And to be honest, I have no idea.
That was opening some ramune.
Ah.
The sound was the pop of the marble. That's why I couldn't do it again.
I gotcha.
And happy birthday, Ross. Ross says tomorrow is his birthday. So a big happy birthday to you. And I do apologize for the goofiness that we ended up going down towards the end of the show last week. Where I had way too much fun with one of the background pictures.
And Mario, you missed it. I wanted your input on this.
So for those of you curious, that was the image that had us laughing hysterically. And actually, if I move over right about here, it looks like I have hair.
Oh my. And hey, go ahead and pull us down real quick and let them see the full image.
So for those of you who don't know, that is from a show called Aho Girl. Last week, we all chose shows for each other to watch of stuff that we probably wouldn't normally watch. Darren is probably going to be having daggers thrown his way by Angela due to the fact he told her to watch this show.
In my defense, it is a very short show. So hopefully I won't have to be in hiding for too long.
I was given Goblin Slayer.
And I was given Shine Post.
So It should be interesting. We didn't give a time limit on when this had to be done. I will probably start Goblin Slayer in a couple of weeks when I take a weekend to myself to kind of recharge before a very hectic schedule of Anime Boston, Vermont Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Expo. Preparing to move the Rail City Fan Fest Con and all the other craziness that's going to happen leading up to a move in July. Um,
And the stress of fearing for our lives.
yeah, and but tonight we are looking forward to just having some fun, talking some randomness, and I thought one of the a fun topic to start off with is what is the best sports anime out there and why is it Keijo?
I concur. I agree.
And I only say that because I think that's one of very few sports animes I've actually watched because it is Super Bowl Sunday. And for those of you who might be interested, current score is 21-14. The Eagles lead.
And on that note, I got a question. But
Yes.
when you came up with that idea, have you watched Trash Taste's newest episode? Because sports anime was one of the very first things they got into.
No, I have not seen the current episode of Trash Taste.
Okay, because sports anime was literally something they had a whole section on of Joey, Connor, and Garnt going or Giga going back and forth as to why sports anime is either good, bad, and Connor's opinion is sports anime hasn't changed in 20 years.
I think that sports anime, I mean, sports are sports, regardless of what sport it is. And you and I both agree that there are sports that we personally enjoy that they have not made an anime of. And there are sports that we can't understand why they made animes of it.
Why do I not have a bowling anime, but there is a golf anime?
With a
Make
second
that make
season.
sense to me.
Now, they have a regular golf, but they don't have a disc golf. Now there's a few different sports animes that I have seen. One involved volleyball. I've seen, of course, Keijo, which was a classic. I started watching a couple of different baseball ones, I believe. And I did start a comedy one, but only got about 2 episodes in, was like, this is ridiculous. And so I kind of dropped that. And hello, John. Yes, Angela is not here tonight. Her in laws usually do a big Super Bowl get together. So she is there, said that if she is able to join us, it would be in a limited capacity. So we're not sure if she's able to join us or not. Um, on our AZR staff group chat on Facebook, I did put a comment up there that I'm curious to see if she responds to. She has seen it, but she has not responded. So Um, and that is in reference to the most recent episode of Bofuri, which, if you have not seen it, there is a new best one liner of the season, in my opinion. And it might be up there. It might be one of my top 5 favorite one liners I've heard from anime ever. And it out of context, it could sound really bad.
Yes, and I'm really curious as to how they're going to dub that one.
I am too. I'm not sure who the English voice of Sally is, but I'm curious to see Megan Shipman's take as Maple on what happens in the episode. All I will say is, and this really isn't much of a spoiler if I say the line, so if you haven't seen it, it's not going to be give away too much, but it will definitely pique your curiosity. To set the stage, everybody's back at the guild, or back at their little guild house in the tree house there, and um, Sally comes walking in, and Maple has gained yet another new ability. And without thinking, Sally just says, "Hi, Maple, nice tentacles." Wait, what? And the show like kind of ends there. No explanation, just ends. Credits roll.
As they should, because genius.
And John Knight says, "Today is Ryan Colt Levy's birthday, the voice of Roddy Soul in My Hero Academia, and the voice of Denji in Chainsaw Man. So happy birthday, Ryan. Hope you had an amazing day today." And Ross says, "Sorry, guys, although I love Nan Toyoguchi, Southern Redhead Girl, and how she thick and best waifu of that series, sadly, Keijo is second best sports anime."
Okay, so what's number one?
Uh, first best anime is Baby Steps. I don't even know that one.
That is, I believe that's either baseball or volleyball. I want to say, or was it tennis? I don't remember.
And
I
Kaya
think it's
says
tennis.
Sally wasn't wrong. They were pretty nice tentacles. Uh,
It was tennis.
yep, Ross says tennis. So,
Okay, Baby Steps is an anime about a boy named Maruo who has decided to start playing tennis because of a girl he's interested in.
and I and there I've remembered I did watch another sports anime, and I know some people don't always consider it a sport, even though it's an Olympic sport. But the figure skating anime Yuri on Ice, because of all the talk of how amazing the animation was and everything. And I'll be honest, the animation in that was actually really, really good. As somebody who's watched a lot of figure skating growing up, because in the 80s and early 90s, when you have nowhere to go and everybody commandeers a TV and that's what's on, you kind of sit there and watch. And so I did watch a lot of figure skating, and it was pretty good. And John Knight says he got the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie Blu-ray from Amazon.
Hmm.
I hope that's something that you've enjoyed. If not, then I'm guessing it is because he bought it. I don't think I would buy something I didn't enjoy. I wouldn't go right out and buy School Days or Conception because I didn't enjoy those.
Now it's funny. They brought up school days on the podcast too. What is this? Trash Taste Anime-Zing Radio Edition?
And I will be honest, I have not seen the latest episode of Trash Taste. I still haven't finished the previous week's episode when they had the Twitch streamer on. I forget his name.
Well, to be fair, I haven't watched an episode of Trash Taste in probably since their fourth or fifth podcast.
They've had some cool ones, that's for sure. And I
I
try
like
to
the
catch it when I can.
I like the shopping challenges.
I love the shopping challenges and the specials that they do. I like seeing them put themselves through pain.
Yeah, there is no suffering greater than someone else's.
And Ross says, I saw a tiny bit of School Days, but I take everyone's word for it that the show is bad.
But the thing is, the tags for the genre will mislead you until literally the last two episodes.
And I'm not going to say the show is bad because the first like 10 episodes were really, really good. And then it just derails into one of the worst train wrecks you've ever seen in your life.
And no, Conception is still worse, but
Yes. Conception is just a nuclear bomb. And as many of you know, I do watch a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube gamers that I watch, streamers, things of that nature. And on a recent episode of not Insane Craft, but Jerome ASF was doing a series. I think it was Mixcraft, where the recipes are mixed. So um, just like when you make something, it doesn't come out as to what it normally would be. And they had a a cheat or a mod in this pack where watermelons would randomly grow into random things. And one of the things that it in the most recent episode that I saw, it turned into a C4 atomic bomb detonator. And knowing the destructive tendencies of Jerome and some of his friends, they decided to set it off and crashed the entire server. And Darren, when I say they crashed the entire server, the guy Blade who runs the server and organizes a lot of this stuff couldn't even log on himself.
you know it's bad when the site administrator can't even log on.
Like they said, this might be the second worst thing Jerome has done in Minecraft. The previous one, or in a gaming setting that has like multiple networks. And they said at one point he did one that shut down not just a server, but an entire server for multiple people who connect to it. So it'd be like for those who play like League of Legends, if you have a North American server that's in your area and somebody does something that shuts down that entire server, so everybody who connects to it, could be thousands of people, can no longer use it. That's about the equivalent of what Jerome did.
Yikes.
So hats off to Jerome ASF on that one. Um, I do enjoy his content. You can check out Jerome ASF on YouTube. We're shameless plug for him because I do enjoy his content and the rest of the gang that's there, including Dropsy and Sight Music and Captain Blastum, Steadfast Games, Monkey. Monkey is a fan of Demon Slayer. His character looks like a character from Demon Slayer in Minecraft. So, and then there are other Minecraft streamers that I watch, like Biffle Wiffle, who is an anime fan. He usually has My Hero Academia shirts he wears in some of his streams and stuff. So, shonen junkies. But uh, jumping onto a different topic, the shows that we are watching, you and I both have a decent list of shows we're watching this season.
Oh yes, and I have several that I want to start that I have not started.
I have a couple I need to catch up on, including saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. I don't remember who talked about it in our chat, but I decided to check it out, and it has been entertaining thus far.
It's entertaining, but it's probably one of my least favorite shows this season.
I will say the 2 season 2s that I am watching, By the Grace of the Gods and Bo Fury, have not disappointed. And but By the Grace of the Gods, as much as that is a kind of nonchalant slice of life, kind of just kill time anime, the story has been quite entertaining, and I'm so glad season 2 just kind of continued the story and continued the connection between Ryoma and all the people he knows, and you get to see how this kid uses his previous life experiences to find ways to break the system, so to speak. It's not so much he's overpowered; he just breaks a system, and people don't know how to react to it. And Kaya, which girl is nuts? Ross also says, saw news headline. You just have to look up. It's amazing. The Jesus statue in Rio got struck by lightning. I may look that up after the show. Now, which shows have you been keeping up with, Darren?
Quite a few. Um, saving 80,000 gold, as we've already mentioned. Let's see. What's the name of that show? Oh, Fruit of Evolution has been just funny, not good, but entertaining.
Well, it wasn't good for a first season. It was just entertaining.
Yep. Um, Chilling in my 30s after being fired from the Demon King's army has actually been pretty good and wholesome. And the most recent episode, a bomb was dropped that everybody saw coming, but it was nice to have a time skip.
Oh, Kaya was saying that girl is nuts from saving 80,000 gold for my retirement. She is a bit off.
Yeah, she is.
I think that's
Um,
what makes that one kind of fun, though.
then Handyman Saito is actually kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the weird one of the season. There's two of them. Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister. I actually did watch that one just to see what all the rage was about. And basically, older brother gets turned into a girl because of his genius younger sister, and now is now having to live as a girl, and the appearance he takes on as a girl is that of a middle schooler. And long story short, he is a girl in every aspect, and they go into details.
Okay.
Yeah,
Enough said.
and yes. So that goes to the weird one, and the other weird one of the season is My Life as Inukai-san's dog. Guy wakes up one day as a dog and is picked up by his crush and taken home by his crush. And come to find out, his crush does not like people, but absolutely loves animals to the point of it almost being creepy. And let's see what else. So those are the two weird ones of the season. Um, One that's actually been interesting is heroes who don't believe in humanity or adventurers that don't believe in humanity will save the world.
Yep. That has been entertaining. And Ross in the chat wants to touch on a show you talked about a little earlier. He says, okay, I want to talk about that episode. They rushed the romance too much in Chilling in My 30s.
I agree, Ross, but what can you do?
I have not seen it, so I don't know. I will let you guys discuss.
I think you and Angela would enjoy it. Just if y'all enjoyed Banished from the Heroes Party, I think you'd enjoy this one. Um, and then let's see, going down the list, Spy Classroom is not as good as I hoped it would be. Granted, it is interesting. It's like Spy Family and Assassination Classroom had a child, and it is not. I mean, Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not what I expected it to be. Then we got Inspector season 2, which has actually been pretty good. Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible is absolutely adorable. Bo Fury, no, enough said. Uh, then several that you're okay, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that my best girl of this season is Mahiru from The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. That has been I'd have to say that is my favorite show this season.
I
And go ahead.
oh no, go right ahead.
No, you had something to say. Go ahead.
No, I was just running stuff through my head.
Okay. Ross, I'm not gonna spoil Inspector. And let's see, continuing the list, because yes, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Um, Everything else is sequels. Unfortunately, one of them is about to get put on hold due to COVID in Japan, supposedly. And that is something that I kind of got lost on because there's a lot of context to cover. But you just got to pay attention to the show, and that is Misfitted Demon King Academy Season 2. Vinland Saga Season 2 has been absolutely amazing. Um, it continues to impress for obvious reasons. And lastly, one of my other favorites of the season and the most recent episode I can relate to 100% is Don't Bully Me Nagatoro, who I have officially gotten Doug to admit is actually adorable.
She is adorable. I
And
loved
she
seeing
likes
her in
her
that
better
cat
than
outfit.
Ozaki.
She is much better than Uzaki. And Kaya says first season that he's watching 17 anime. Usually only watch about 3. Well, he doesn't. I think Kaya, you don't have a ton of idle animes to keep you entertained this season, so you've got to find something to fill the void. And HH says that he watched 2 episodes of Lost Faith in Humanity, but 2 episodes is all he could do.
Oh,
I,
come on. That's actually one of the better shows this season that's being slept on.
it is another show that actually is pretty good. I did, it took a little bit of talking into, but after hearing you, Darren, talk about it and Casey talk about it, I decided to check out Tomo-chan as a girl. And it is better than I thought it was going to be. And I do agree with you of that one character does remind me of Angela. And it's the kind of the Wednesday lookalike or the Wednesday knockoff.
Yep. And you got to tell me, are you watching this dub or sub?
Subbed.
Okay, I
I
kind
am
of want to
6
watch.
episodes in.
Good. What do you think of Carol?
I hate her. Carol's the blonde haired exchange student, right?
Yes.
I hate her, and I think it has to do with the eyes. She's annoying. The eyes just don't look right, and her mother is just as big a twit as she is.
Do you want me to spoil something for you in regards to how old her mother is?
I'm guessing her mother is in her 30s.
28. She's 15.
That explains a lot. Also, they're British, so I'm guessing that's why I'm guessing that's why they're drawn a little differently, is to show, oh look, they're from another country, so they have some different features. Their eyes are not as well defined as the Japanese characters.
I just love Gundo's mom's reaction to Carol. And she's like, "Are you sure about this girl?" And Gundo's like, "No, honestly, mom, I'm not."
Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure of which character I like the best. I just know that Carol I can't stand. It's not often I can say that that I absolutely despise a character in anime, because even some of the villains at least have a good story arc. Carol is just a Nimrod.
Who's the sharper tool in the shed? No, wait, no, that's a dumb question. I was gonna say her or what's her name from Aho Girl, but obviously Carol, because at least Carol is number one in the class.
Kaya says Carol has money, though. I don't care if she has
She,
money.
she does.
I don't care how rich her family is. I don't care how much money she has. She's annoying, and I understand she is like adds some interesting tidbits to the show, but my God, I can't stand her. I do not like that character at all.
Yeah. Well,
Is she your favorite character from the show?
who, me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but mine is Tomo, obviously. But I do like how Gundo's character is written.
I I think there was a lot of good ideas put into this show. There's a lot of potential. And good evening, Julie. It's great to see you in the chat. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a while. We're talking about some of the shows that we've been watching, and right now talking about Tomo-chan as a girl. It's it's definitely an interesting um, series. I like the makeover they did on Tomo, where they gave her the wig and she ends up running into him and freaking out. I thought that was rather comical.
I love how he's like, "Is that? Nah, that can't be. No, there's no way."
Yeah, like he recognizes the face, but doesn't think it's actually her.
And his cover stories are very unconvincing. How
Yeah,
did I fell?
and we
Well,
have. Go ahead.
all I can say is, if if he don't do something to them, they'd probably be worse off if Tomo ended up dealing with them.
Oh, the thugs there. Yeah, that was rather entertaining too. Well, on a different note, a show that I've been watching that I didn't think that I was gonna actually like enjoy or even want to start watching, and then I heard Farming Life, The Harem. And I was like, okay, let's check this out and see just how ridiculous it is. Farming Life in Another World. An isekai about farming.
And
Gee,
harems.
who would have thought that I would have watched that after I've somehow gotten stronger while I improved my farming related skills? Yeah, no, I don't watch these slice of life, random animes, all the drugstore ones, and now I guess farming ones. And it's been entertaining. I don't think I would put it in a top 10 list in any way, shape, or form, but it's not horrible. And the fact that it's one guy getting surrounded by all sorts of girls. You have angels, you have elves, you have well, not wolf girls, but he tames. He treats some badly injured wolves that become like his guard dogs. There's a spider on the premise that acts as a lookout.
So it's
Uh,
Peter Grill, the safe edition.
Kinda. The safe edition and the fact of this guy is really dense. Like all the elves are like, we've been run off from our homes. And when I say all the elves, I'm guessing there's probably 30 plus highly attractive elf girls that are living in his little village that he is slowly growing after
Kind of
being
like
reincarnated
Reamer.
into this world. And all of them keep talking about, we need to repopulate. And he's like, good luck with that. However, that happens. I'm not going to ask, the inner monologue. I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know how they repopulate.
Oh, and Ross, thanks for the spoilers. But the on that note, there was one anime I forgot about. Speaking of being surrounded by girls, and the reason I forgot about it is because it's a continuation, and it's one I've been harping on you for a while now.
Okay.
Care to take a guess?
No, my mind's kind of fried after a long weekend and an added day of work that I normally don't have.
Eminence and Shadow.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have been meaning to start that. I actually have that up on my high dive list as ones to watch because that's continuing on.
Yes, where the final episode of this season is supposed to drop this coming week, and there is a lot of suspicion that there's going to be a new season announced because it is actually doing really well. It's got almost an 8, and that's up from a low 7 at the beginning of its airing on my anime list. So it's actually fairly popular.
And I see Julili in the chat says hasn't I haven't watched anime in a long while, but I have been watching some cartoons. That's cool. What shows have you been keeping up with, Julili? Ross also says,
Uh,
talking about farming life. Here's the thing: no harem. He only has one wife, and it happens in the third episode. Darren, not a spoiler.
oh, and Kaya, I'm glad you're enjoying Eminence too.
So
There,
Eminence is one I will look at eventually.
well, the guy is surrounded by 7 main girls that work for him, unbeknownst to him, that everything they do really, but all of their employees that work under them are also female. So that he literally has a whole army of females working for him and not a single guy anywhere in that mix.
Interesting.
Um, and then he's attracted several girls from the kingdom he's in, as well as girls from other kingdoms. And he is so dense. And also, his sister has a brother complex, and she is scary.
Oh, good God.
You have the Yandere older sister. So he fears nothing except her.
And of the shows that I have been watching, like I was talking about, By the Grace of the Gods has continued to be really, really good. Um, the second season introduces a cute fox girl. It seems like Ryoma's become the apple of multiple girls' eyes in this show. Even though he's just a kid, you can tell that there are girls who have interest in him, including the Duke's daughter from season one. You can see that he's somebody special to her. Could be a potential romance there. The Fox girl, I can almost see her having interest in him as time progresses. And then, there's an adorable rabbit girl. Not so much a love interest for Ryoma, but Darren, I know you like the rabbit girls. And it does have the cute rabbit girl in the show.
Yeah,
In
I
fact,
like my bunny girl.
that's the girl in the background.
Ah,
And I will minimize us so you can see. So she's a cute character. And Jalili says that she does not support Yandres. And Kaya says, God, his sister is scary, referring to Shadow.
yeah, because she is.
Other shows that I have been enjoying, like I said, I did start saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. That has been a bit on the interesting side. I have not started season 2 of Nagatoro yet. I did finish season 1 finally, though. So I will start season 2 eventually.
Well, there is more development to be had. And like I said, this last episode really hit home for me because they were skiing. And that is something I absolutely love doing.
uh,
And yeah, that was really enjoyable for me.
and of course, Tomo-chan is a girl. We touched on that one. Bofuri, I don't know how much good I can say about Bofuri.
Not
That,
enough.
that is just such a good series. And like I mentioned earlier, I am so glad um, that they did not like jump off brand of Bofuri when they continued it. They kind of kept up with the same storyline, and it has been so good. And hello, Sharka. Sharka's in the chat. It's great to see you as well. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Thank you to all the listeners out there who are joining us as well through any of the streaming platforms where you can now hear Anime-Zing radio. You can hear us on most streaming sites just by searching for Anime-Zing radio. And Sharka says that she's been watching Trigun Stampede. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about that one. If you watch the original and you think this is a reboot of the original, I've heard people say that you might be disappointed if you go in with that retrospect. If you go into it saying, okay, this is Trigun, but something new with the Trigun name, it actually is enjoyable. I have not watched it, so I can't give a personal opinion on that, but I've heard a lot of people talk about if you go in with an open mind and not just locked in with the preconceived notions of the original Trigun. Yes, some of the characters are the same, but some characters have changed and they've updated jobs and things of that nature. So I hear that it is still pretty good. Kaya says that he's enjoyed it so far. Uh, Other shows that I have been watching as well. I just seen it and then I lost it. We were talking a little bit about the adventurers who don't believe in humanity. Who is your favorite character from that show?
That's a good question. Don't get me long. Don't get me wrong, but I do like our Dragon Girl. I can't remember names right off the top of my head, but I'm gonna have to say my favorite.
You like the monk.
That's funny. No, I like our mage, I believe she was.
Yes, the girl who looks like a witch, so to speak.
Yeah,
And,
looks like
and
our looks like
Curran is the dragon.
yes. And Curran, I think, has one of the saddest stories of the bunch.
Now I laughed when I started watching this show, and it's like, oh look, another cute dragon girl, and I'm like, okay, here we go again. I'm gonna just like love the dragon girl in this, and at first that didn't happen. I'll be honest. I remember saying a couple shows ago that when I started watching this, didn't think I would put Curran in like the top 10 or top 5 of favorite Dragon Girls. But after some of the more recent episodes where you get to see a little bit more of her personality and her come out of her shell a little bit, she's kind of grown on me a little bit.
Well, glad to hear. You know, and I originally recommended this show without the intent of really remembering that there was a Dragon Girl in the series. I was strictly recommending it based on the fact that we enjoyed Banished from the Heroes Party.
Yep.
So I thought this would be one that would be take an interesting twist.
Oh, definitely. And it has been an interesting twist where they all have a backstory where somebody has backstabbed them, kicked them, cheated, lied to them. Basically a huge amount of betrayal to the point of where they've just lost faith in trusting anybody. And I think there are points where they don't even trust themselves.
They don't trust. The number one rule is basic. They're basically live by don't trust anyone, including their own teammates. But you're right. That's also not limited to themselves either.
And to see how they slowly work together, and you can see them starting to trust each other, although albeit reluctantly. So it's kind of interesting to see, we hate everyone and everything, but because we all have this in common, we'll work together.
Yep. We're and then cue music. We're a couple of misfits. We are not just a nitwit.
And this just caught my eye in the chat room. Ross says, "Mini rant. Sorry, I like this show. I am furious on my show I've been watching, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. I want the blonde guy Jonas to get arrested or axed by the king. Jonas is a stalker, coward, and a liar."
That was one that I debated on watching, but I was scared off by the title, even though it's nothing like the last time an anime started with the word sugar. But still, oh, that would be a good one for Ange. Now that I think about it, let's see, Happy Sugar Life.
And HH in the chat room says, Bofuri, tentacles, I've seen enough hentai to know. Yeah, it's moe hentai.
Yep, with a girl that has no idea what she's doing.
I think that's like the funnest part about Maple is she's so innocent and so naive. She doesn't even know she broke the game.
It's like every time they try to nerf her, there's something in the game that she ends up discovering that they intentionally put out there. And they're like, why? Just why? Why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep putting stuff out there? And then she just happens to be the one to find it.
And if you're watching the series, excuse me, and you don't read all the little words and all the little chats that they say amongst themselves at the end, like I watch it on the computer and I will pause so I can read every comment that comes up from the other players, the people creating the game, whoever is involved in this thread. And it's actually really, really hysterical.
Pretty much.
And Sharka says that she loves Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. Chalet is a handsome fairy.
I'm kind of waiting for them to do bow fury like they did sword art. They basically take the strongest player in the game and make them the final boss.
I mean, it could happen. Is Bo Fury going to turn into one of those long-running shonens that I tend to lose interest in? Could this be the one that breaks the trend? We shall wait and see.
And how do you damage Maple? There's only one way to damage Maple that they discovered. And it's the same thing in Pokemon. If you're impervious to literally everything, there's only one thing that will damage you.
The ground.
That is your terrain. The only way in Pokemon, for instance, you would die, you would not be affected by these elements is depending on your typing. If you are rock, stone, or steel, you would not be affected by a sandstorm. And if you are not an ice type, you would be affected by hail. Even Pokemon with abilities like Wonder Guard, Shedinja, who has only one hit point, you will die because of it. Terrain damage will get you.
No, we touched a little bit on shonen and stuff like that, and I've joked, in our chat about the war between shonen fans and isekai fans, and everybody likes to crap on isekai because there's so much of it. And in this day and age, it's every season, and I've even agreed that there is too much isekai. But I feel like there's so much isekai because there's so much shonen episodes. Isekais are kind of fun for watching nonsense, as shonens are a lot of shonens are long drawn out series where you get to see these characters develop and things of that nature. The problem with me is I lose interest in stuff if it goes on too long. With so many shows out there to try to keep up with, I need shorter running series where I can watch the episodes and then move on to the next thing. And the really good stuff stays with me. And the stuff that is okay, it's like, okay, I checked out a show. It wasn't bad, but I can move on to the next thing. Starting like Fairy Tale was interesting at first, but once I started seeing the same repetitive, and even though it was different characters that the Fairy Tale Guild was fighting, and sometimes it was themselves, which was a neat spin, but you still saw the basic same story arc looping over and over and over. And so I got into the hundreds. I got past the Edelus arc, and it was just got to the point where I got bored seeing the same stuff over and over again with different characters. I'm like, I need something new. And I know that sounds condescending when isekai is an isekai is just somebody getting reincarnated. It's different characters, but it's the same thing. But every story seems to be a little bit different. Whether it be somebody who gets summoned to another world in a video game sense, like SAO, whether it's somebody who gets killed and turns into a singer, like Zombieland Saga. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that they've created this. Whether it's you get sucked into another world and now you're a vending machine. And hello to Dragon Senpai. Welcome to the show.
You speak of dragons, and someone who apparently likes dragons has showed up in the show.
And I do have I do have an interest in Dragon Girls. I won't lie. Some of my favorite Dragon Girls are in shows like Monster Girl Doctor or Killing Slimes for 300 Years. I actually prefer them over anybody from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. As adorable as Ilulu is, I don't know if Ilulu would be in my top 5 dragons. And she's my favorite dragon from Dragon Maid.
You're forgetting your favorite dragon from Slime.
Oh yeah, of course Malim's up there. She might be number one. When she goes into adult form, she is ultimate. She's like ultimate waifu in adult form. And Dragon Senpai says, "I don't just like dragons. I am literally dragon." Well,
Very nice.
we thank you so much for joining us, and know that I have respects for dragon and all dragon kind.
I
I have been collecting dragon figurines for years prior to anime. I've always had a fascination for the dragons.
know I'm waiting for them to go ahead and do figures of the dragons in DxD, just because there are so many of them.
I wish there was more dragon figures. I'll be right out there and honest. I wish they had more dragon figures from anime. Especially when you look at the history and culture of Japan and how important dragons have been to their history. So I would love to see more dragon girls. And like killing slimes for 300 years, you had the red dragon and the blue dragon. The blue dragon was adorable because even in her human form, she kept her tail. And I think that's one thing that appeals to me is the fact that like the red the red dragon was cute, but I like the blue dragon more. I think because she had kept her tail in human form. Lady Scotty was just absolutely adorable. I don't know if I would put Lady Scotty in waifu territory, but she is definitely in the I would protect. I don't know if you agree with me on that one or not. Do you remember her, Darren?
Yes, I do.
So I don't know if you would right if she is one that you would put in the protect as opposed to waifu or not. And Sharka says, "I love Monster Girl Doctor. That was a really good anime, and I know it was kind of it was under the Monster Musume name in Japanese, I believe, but it had nothing to do with the original." Ross says, "Before Monster Girl Doctor came out, it took me a long time to read the first book, and then I dropped the series. It was way too long, so that's why I won't watch the series." The series was actually pretty good. Um, I enjoyed some of the characters. He said the light novel was really long. I think anime is kind of an interesting tool. There are because I think there are people out there like myself who doesn't read light novels, doesn't really read manga, prefers to just watch the anime, and in most cases goes into these shows blind with no history of what the source material was. And so I can give an honest opinion on the anime based off of being naive and not preconceived notions based off of the source material. And then there are a lot of our listeners and a lot of people out there who love to read the mangas, the light novels, and get the history behind these shows. before they air as an anime, and then there's a whole different discussion that in most cases, I could never really be a part of. I've read very few manga. Inuyasha is one that I have read. I've read a little bit online of the Rosario Vampire manga, so I can understand where the disagreement was on that and why there's only 2 seasons, because they didn't follow the storyline at
They
all from
they
the manga to the
they
show.
they butchered season two.
Oh my god, did they jump around like crazy in that? Which is sad because it was such a good show.
Yep. And but don't forget, animes are generally done to increase awareness of the series to uh, sell its source material more.
And I think I think in some cases it does a good job of that, because shows like Bofuri, shows like Call of the Night, and there was another big one that had a huge spike in light novel and manga revenue that came out within like the last year or two. I think Spy Family was another one that like their source
What
material went up immensely
wasn't
when
it?
the anime
What
came out.
wasn't it? Dress Up, Darling.
Yes, that was the other one. That was another one that saw a huge spike after the anime came out. And for good reason. The anime was phenomenal. I still say Marin was best girl. Maybe not top waifu, but best girl of 2022. I will not relinquish my stance on that. I know you like Kurumi, and there was other honorable mentions, but
Oh,
best
speak,
girl
oh,
was
speaking of which, I have some words from you from Joey the Anime Man.
Marin. Okay.
Why the hell are you still watching Data Live?
I am
He
not.
he
I
just
didn't
he
even
just
see it
started
before.
when Data Live came up in that recent episode. He just started ripping them a new one. Like, why in the world is Data Live still a thing?
Season 4, and I said this before, season 4 was a disappointment. I am
Have you
sorry.
seen?
I tried watching it in Japanese and in English and could not get very far into it. In either
Did
one.
you? And have you seen Data Bullet?
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't like Kirby.
I mean, I would watch it, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I mean, Kermie, don't get me wrong, Kermie is an adorable character. You know, when you look by looks, she's cute. You know, she's an interesting character. There's just something about her I can't stand. I mean, I'm intrigued by the fact that she wields a couple of guns and can transport through time and stuff like that. But man, there's just something about her that I don't like. I think there's something in her personality that just irks me. She's not as bad as the British girl in Tomo-chan, but and I don't want to get back on that talking about the. I can't even remember her name,
Carol.
Carol. I don't even want to get back on the soapbox on her. She was just a twit. I bet you Connor would like that character, though. We're talking trash taste. I bet Connor would love her. I don't know if you're familiar with Abroad in Japan, but I could see Chris Broad enjoying that character too. I don't know why. As we're out here throwing shameless plugging at other more popular, well-known YouTubers.
Hoping for recognition from our senpais.
Hey, if Senpai wants to notice us and wants to come on the show, you are more than welcome. Reach out. Joey the Anime Man, Sea Dog VA, Gig Hick, Abroad in Japan. If you guys want to come on the show, we would love to have you. We're a fan of your work. It's a possibility, Ross. I don't know. Granted, lately I've been watching a lot of the more wholesome shows, uh, outside of the one that Darren really wants me to watch.
Excuse me.
Don't die on us now.
No. In which sense of dying are we talking?
Any sense. Now, I know earlier we were talking about some of the Dragon Girls, and scrolling back through the Crunchyroll lineup. I have got Casey to start watching Beast Tamer. We're maybe about halfway through the series, and I have to say the English dub is quite interesting, and the English voice actress for the cat character throws in so many cat puns. It oh, it's cute and annoying at the same time. And I kind of see a lot of the same puns that was also used in By the Grace of the Gods, because there's a cat character in there. So you can hear some of this same like cat puns in the conversation there, as you can hear in Beast Tamer. Phrases like "You've got to be kidding me," "That's clawful," stuff along that line. It's interesting. Sharka in the chat, going back to the Data Live comment, says, I like the old seasons of Data Live. Season 3, in my opinion, was best season of Data Live. I might just be biased because Best Girl came in at that point.
Honestly, my favorite was season one.
Season 1 was really good as well.
Mostly because it had more Kurumi in it. So
And I've talked to many different people who have watched the show, and regardless of your favorite characters, we're gonna jump onto a cosplay of looking at the characters from a cosplay standpoint. Toka, I think, is the ultimate cosplay from that show. And I don't know if
she would definitely take the most work.
and I don't know if you agree with me on that, but you get an adorable character with an amazing dress and a really OP weapon. Like that sword, Zendophon, would take a lot of work to do.
Yes, it would.
And if any of our listeners out there have cosplayed as Toka in the spirit form, I would love to see the photos. Really would. That is just, in my opinion, the ultimate. And oh, good God, Darren, what'd you send me? Oh, Jesus.
I told you.
Anime logic. And Ross says we all know that Yoshino is best girl in Date Alive, right? No. Yoshino is adorable. Actually, I have her figure right here.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, we got a Yoshino sighting here. And I will say, Tia Ballard did a great job at voicing Yoshino in the English dub. I will still say that I feel that Tia Ballard's best work was 02.
Zero who?
02. I would get the figure, but it's across the room up high on a shelf. And Sharka says Toka is best girl in Data Live for her.
I love how everyone's got a different opinion on this.
But that it is good. I like Natami.
I love how no one said Miku or the twins yet.
I think Miku is the worst of the spirits that
I
have come in.
I agree.
The twins are fun, but they're also annoying in some of their speech, the way they condescend each other but agree at the same time.
And their ditzes.
And HH says, I've cosplayed as a functional adult. Does that count? Yes.
Yes, it actually does.
And Kaya says Kurumi is his favorite. So there you go,
Yay,
Darren.
someone else agrees with me.
And Ross says 02 is the Justin Timberlake of Darling in the Franxx. Yes, I said that. That deserves this. Oh, it's too long to fit being there. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. The writer and Tobiichi are the worst spirits. I like Origami. I think she's a fun character, and in her spirit form, she's actually very attractive. The problem with Origami is she reminds me of the president from, like the school president from a world where dirty jokes don't exist. Like she seems to be that kind of sick and twisted. And Kaya says that he does know the ending of the series, so it's always hard for him to talk about Data Live without spoilers, which is understandable. Now, knowing we have Kaya in the chat and knowing Kaya is a fan of idols, I caught wind of a new Love Live series that's coming out that I think is based off of Yohane. Do you know anything about this? So that question goes out to Kaya. And also, Kaya, I apologize due to my work schedule. I have not been able to check out your Twitch stream. Hopefully, that is still going good. Kaya is a VTuber with they joined us last year with the new skin and was really fun. We learned a lot about the VTubing side of things. Oh, I did not get a chance to actually watch the video. So I will do that probably after, because when you sent that to me, I was actually at work. Kaya says working on a new setup, so haven't streamed much. And the new series of Love Live comes out in July. I still think Love Live Superstar is the best of the ones I have seen, followed by Love Live, then Love Live Sunshine. And Kaya says there's also the VTuber Love Live thing. I don't know much about that one. And Ross, going back to Data Live, says, I don't like how they changed her into being with a group of girls. I just can't accept it because she's still the same to me, referring to Origami. Sharka says that she also likes Origami spirit form.
I'm not gonna lie, origami kind of grew on me for reasons.
Like a wart.
But what?
uh, Kaya says Love Live is becoming the next Idol Masters. Are we gonna see like so many spin-offs that they just eventually take like the top girl from each Love Live series and just have them all come together, or
Why
some
not?
or somehow have all of these Love Live groups just all face off in an actual Love Live competition, even though they're all like based off of different time frames. Somehow they'll make it all work, kind of the way they did in Show by Rock.
Why not just have a whole convention for Love Live and have groups compete to see who's the best?
That's called Anime Boston this year, since Anime Boston's theme is idols, which I know, Kaya, it's got to break your heart to not be able to go knowing that Idol is the theme for Anime Boston. Sadly, I'm not sure how much of Anime Boston I'm going to be attending. It depends on press and, and some other things, um, including figuring out what to do with a 5-year-old for 2 days, for the first 2 days of the con, because we only have a babysitter for the weekend.
Oh,
Fortunately, we have a helper for Casey Fox at her table, so she will be there all weekend with somebody helping her at her table. She won't be there alone. What were you gonna say, Darren?
I was about to say, how was that ramen?
It's good. This is the original flavor, which is kind of I want to say it's like a Sprite 7 Up ish taste. It's like a lemon lime. I do have a strawberry one in the fridge as well that I'm able to pick up at my local grocery store. So I treat myself with that every now and then. And Ross says he will be right back. Hurry back, Ross. We love the fact that the chat has been so active tonight. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat room. Thank you for tuning in tonight and interacting with us or enjoying the content we're putting out. I know so many people out there are watching the Super Bowl, which currently the score is 24-21. Eagles lead with 2:36 left to go in the third quarter. Um, I have done a little bit of gambling on the game, so I'm kind of watching to see if I win some money. The random DraftKings bet a little bit here, bet a little bit there. This game really could have gone either way. And now, do they have any like not 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 football as it's called in other parts of the world, but I don't think they really have any American football animes out there.
ICL 21, I think, is the only one.
I haven't even heard of that one.
Giga talked about it quite a bit, but it's literally the only actual football anime that I'm aware exists.
So we have football, and I'm just going to refer to these sports as in the American sense of the sports. I know soccer in the U.S. is football to the rest of the world. So we have soccer animes, one football anime, multiple baseball, tennis, golf. We have Keijo, which is a made-up sport. We've got um, table tennis, kabaddi, volleyball, um, tabletop like racquetball, animes. Am I missing any? I think there's some racing ones too. Racking.
You said racing?
Yeah.
Um, I believe so.
Speed Racer, technically an anime, and that what did involve auto racing. It's very old school, but it was an anime. But not one that many people think about when they think anime. Initial D kind of had like a racing feel to it, even though it really wasn't racing. Wasn't there like a Tokyo Drifters? Was that a show or was that an anime? I don't remember.
Uh, Tokyo Drift, I think that was a game. I think you're, hold
I,
on.
I could be confusing things. It could be a game. But why not turn it into an anime? They turn everything, all these other games into animes too. So
I think the anime you're thinking of was Initial D.
yeah,
Yeah. The other one I believe was a game.
okay. So there's been racing animes. I'm trying to think of what other sports. Basketball
Kuroko no Basket.
and Shark on the chat. Going back to the idol topic, says that her favorite boys idol anime is Idolish 7. I have not seen that. As much as I enjoy the music based animes, I have not seen that.
Speaking of music-based animes, you want to go ahead and mention one of the best ones this past season?
What was that? I
What
got
anime aired this past season that was the underdog?
oh the this past season. So talking winter 2022 or
You
fall
mean,
22.
yep,
Oh, um, Call of the Night.
no. Well, that too, but no.
What?
Musical anime.
I have to go back and look to see what came
Oh,
out.
come on. Bochi.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, Bochi the Rock.
I would talk about it, but I haven't seen it, so I have no right to talk about it.
Bochi was one of those shows that a lot of people slept on at the beginning. Those who watched it early fell in love with it, and the hype that it started getting online started getting more people to check it out. And I think it was well deserved of the hype it got. It, I would love to see it get an English adaptation. I don't know if it's scheduled to or not. I don't see why it wouldn't with the popularity that it started getting. Like, this was a show that ended up getting top 5 voting, not just for the season in many polls, but I saw it in the top 5 for the year in some polls. And I know that there are some people who have watched it that were like it questionable about the art style or things of that nature. And I think it was somebody told me it was Gigic had actually put that as an S tier when he did his tier list from fall anime. And he will be the first one to tell you he doesn't watch that type of show. He doesn't watch shows about cute girls doing cute things. And he put it S tier in front of Chainsaw Man. So I think that's saying something for, and this is like I saw a clip of him moving it up there, and I was like, wait, what? Did Gigic just put Bochi in S tier with like Chainsaw Man, and I forget what the other one was that he had up there in S tier? I'm like, Gigic doesn't watch these shows, but the show was so good, and I know people questioned the art style as I said before, but I think the creator and the animators did an amazing job at kind of demonstrating the feels of awkwardness in a visual aspect to kind of get people to understand how she's feeling based off the animation you're seeing. As somebody who growing up had social anxiety, was very much a loner, preferred to stick to myself and stuff of that nature. Not many friends, not go out and do much. I I could get I kind of understood the feelings that Bochi was going through. I was never as bad as her. She takes it to a whole new level, but it was great to see how, with the help of people that she meets and becomes friends with, that she slowly comes out of her shell. And the music isn't half bad either. It's not an idol anime, so you don't have to worry about the cute pop idol songs. Da 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 da. No, they kind of go for rock and roll music. And to see Bochi slowly but surely come out of her shell and you know gain a little bit of self confidence and faith in herself, and then they have the school festival arc where you get to see a different side of Bochi. You realize that Bochi really is a cute character. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Bochi in a maid outfit, Darren, but
Yes, I have. How could I not have?
exactly. That's, I mean, she went from being like, okay, this is kind of a cute, relatable character to she's more attractive than she lets on based on the tracksuit she always wears. It's like,
And
don't put her in a maid outfit. It's like, damn.
a lot of people compare her to Komi and the main character from Watamote,
I
and rightfully so.
the awkwardness of Watamote is definitely there. I haven't seen Komi, but I have seen. I didn't finish, but I have seen quite a few episodes of Watamote, and I related a lot to that.
Let me ask you this: how much did Bochi actually speak in the show? Did she have a lot of lines or not really?
Not at first. It was
Okay.
a lot. It was a lot of inner dialogue, more so than her actually like outside of her family. She had a hard time talking to anybody.
So basically, Komi.
And her first performance with the band, she basically put herself in a cardboard box that housed that a refrigerator came in, cut two holes off the side so she could hold her guitar and play guitar while she was perfectly hidden.
So Gasper.
So it was it was quite interesting nonetheless. And I hope it gets a season two. I would like to see where the storyline progresses. I don't know if it will, but it seems like every piece of crap is getting a season two nowadays. And not that Bochi is a piece of crap, but there are a lot of shows out there that we question why did they get a season two. There are plenty of shows that could have ended at a season one or ended long before the continuation.
Well, and on that note, one that I agree could have ended at season two but didn't, and I'm glad it didn't, was Mob Psycho. Season two literally had the whole anime wrapped up. And season three, it actually was like, okay, where are they going with this? Oh, that actually makes sense. I'm glad they did that. It was great closure.
It's nice when shows do that. There are some shows that just, in fact, a show that shouldn't have had a season two. I don't know how it was so popular that it got one. Peter Grill. That was just. Now I like me. I enjoy some good etchy harem stuff from time to time. That
Especially since they ain't made a good one in years.
Peter Grill was just ridiculous. It was so bad. Season one was so bad I couldn't finish it, and I didn't even give a second thought when I saw they made a season two. I'm like, nope, I'm not watching it. Don't care. I'll watch a farming anime over Peter Grill.
I love how I was gonna bring this up earlier, but before isekai was all the rage, it was actually ecchi and harem that was all the rage. It's like you couldn't go a single season without multiple ecchi harem shows, and then after isekai happened, you barely see any good isekai or not isekai, but harem or ecchi shows anymore.
You don't see many good isekais anymore either, but it's all
Uh, was
carbon
was
copy.
was was isekai ever good in the first place?
Yes.
Yes, because Problem Children was one of the best early isekais.
And Inuyasha was a good isekai. That was a lot of people's gateway anime, and that technically is an isekai because Kagome can transport through time because of the well. So, by all definitions of isekai, Inuyasha is an isekai. Show by Rock was an isekai. That was really good. Familiar of Zero was a good isekai because he gets summoned.
Technically, the original Yu-Gi-Oh was a isekai while they were in virtual reality land.
I guess technically you could call Sword Art
Actually,
Online as isekai as well because
actually, I take that back. Yu-Gi-Oh was definitely isekai for the fact they got drawn into another world, aka a different time in Egypt, and then in GX they got drawn into a different dimension multiple times. So I guess you could say that too.
and HH goes referring to how there are talks about harem ecchi animes. He says because there never were any good harem animes.
High School DxD, senor.
Rosario Vampire.
High School DxD, especially in the novel, is one of the best harem animes, period.
And I
Because
will
he
still say
actually does
Mizure
get
is
all the
best girl
girls.
in I still say Mizure is best girl in Rosario.
Agreed. Now, granted, I like Mocha, but Mizure was best for me as well.
Well, Mocha was adorable depending on which form she was in. Because when she was pink haired Mocha, she was cute and innocent. When she was white haired Mocha,
She was a badass.
she was terrifyingly hot.
I liked Innocent Mocha.
Kurumi was a cute character, but she was annoying. And
Kuramo,
Kurumu. And Yukari was just an
annoying.
annoying, which, hats off to Monica Rial for bringing that character to life. That
And I, I forget the other one, but no.
Ruby,
Yes, not my. Mm-mm.
not into the witches. And Russ is going back to. Actually, HH says DxD doesn't count. It's its own clash.
Good, good. I'm glad it's good.
And Ross was mentioned. We talked about top 5 dragons. He has a top 6 random here. 6 Mink from Dragon Half. 5 Red Queen from Restaurant to Another World. 4 Kana. Number 3 Alulu. 2 Rose from Dragon Crisis. And number 1 Toa from Dragonaut.
Hmm.
And Ross also says for harem, don't forget Ah My Buddha.
Never watched.
Never watched that one. I saw Ah My Goddess.
Did you watch Heaven's Lost Property?
Oh, of course.
Let's see what else was
And
back in the day
not only did
good.
I watch Heaven's Lost Property, I have the DVD and I have the sleeve signed by uh, Greg Ayers, Brittany Karbowski, and the voice actress of Nymph. So, like the three
Um,
main characters, I have signatures on because Brittany was Icarus, and that was a funny story to get that signed. I wasn't expecting. We met the first time we met Brittany Karbowski was at Katsucon years ago, and I went with my certain magical index DVD sleeve because Makoto Misaka is one of my favorite characters that Brittany voices, and I wanted Brittany to sign that. But the voice of Nymph was also in that autograph signing, so I had the Heaven's Lost Property sleeve with me. So I walked up, it was my turn, and the rule was you can get one thing signed. So I walked up and I handed her the sleeve, hello, and talked with her a little bit because she remembered me from being on the show, and she happened to notice I have had the Heaven's Lost Property. She goes, I'm signing that too. I thought we were only supposed to get one thing signed. She goes, no, you don't understand. I want to sign this. I was like, okay, I'm not going to say no to an extra signature because the voice actress demands to sign Heaven's Lost Property when it's the best girl in Heaven's Lost Property. I accept.
I'm sorry, but let's see. My favorite girl in Heaven's Lost Property had to be what was her name? Damn it! It wasn't Delta. It wasn't Nymph. It wasn't Icarus. It was
The friend,
yes, the childhood friend. I love the childhood friends.
you always have had a thing for the childhood friends.
Probably because I never got with money.
And Super Bowl update: Kansas City recently just took the lead, 28-27, with 12:04 to go in the fourth quarter. Ross says going back to Rosario Vampire, Cocoa was best girl.
No, and neither what. Well, the bat didn't transform into a girl, but he tried to transform into a handsome guy.
And that was interesting talking with Jerry Jewell about voicing the bat in the English dub because there was some playing around with audio to get that voice. So that's one thing that I have to throw a shout out to these voice actors about. The fact that using just their voices, whether it's English or Japanese or whatever language that you prefer to watch your shows in, the fact that they can make you fall in love with or absolutely despise a character based off of a voice performance amazes me. It goes to show the sheer talent. And I've heard stories of people who will go to a convention and yell at the voice actor. How could you make that character so terrible? I hate that character so much that you voiced and it's like instead of hating the voice actor because you hate the character, you should praise the voice actor for making you dislike the character because that means they did their job. If it's a character you're supposed to not like, then they did a fantastic job at doing that. And I might be weird for thinking this way, but I also think it also stems to doing this show and the amount of voice over talent that we've had the honor to interview over the past 9 years. And I say 9 years because in April we turned 9. Holy crap, Aaron! The show turns 9 in April.
Oh wow, we're almost out of elementary school.
We're almost in double digits. I
We
still
need
want. I still kind of want to see if we can do a live show from Anime Boston next year for our 10-year anniversary show.
hopefully things line up to where I can hopefully be there in person.
That would be amazing.
But
Uh,
a lot of that's contingent on Anime Boston itself.
yeah, the rules and regulations. That's kind of a hindrance of why if I do go to Anime Boston, unless I can find a babysitter for Thursday and Friday, if I go, it'll only be Saturday, Sunday, because Evie is not vaccinated and would not be allowed to go.
Which for children that young, I say is absolutely ridiculous.
I agree. I think this whole nonsense at this point is ridiculous. But at the same point in time, I can understand that organizations need to do what they have to do to protect themselves from the world that we
Legal.
live in.
Yes, because everything's a lawsuit nowadays.
So I'm not mad at Anime Boston for the rules and regulations that they put in place. I don't have to always agree with it, but for the line of work that I do with the radio show, since I am some as weird as it sounds, we are media, and I I want to abide by the rules, and so I have been. I need to get the most recent vaccination to be able to attend. So I'm one behind, which I can get that anytime. Um, but I also understand that I need to do that if I want to continue to go to these larger conventions and cover it as press so we can have more content to put up on the channel and continue to grow AZR and continue to gain the respect of these larger conventions because it only looks better on us if we abide by the rules, we don't make a fuss. When they ask us to do something, as long as it's not outrageous, we abide by it. And I've tried to do the best I can to follow the rules and be respectful of the conventions, the guests, the attendees, the volunteers, and I also a lot of times go out of my way to thank the volunteers who work at these cons because a lot of times they get crapped on. You usually don't see some of these people unless there's issues, and so I kind of thank them for the work that they do because it's not easy. I know enough people who work behind the scenes, and it can be very stressful. So, if you're going to these conventions, please be respectful of everybody, not just the attendees, but the guests, the vendors, the artists, the staffers working. Because a lot of these cons, the staffers are just volunteer.
Yep.
They
They don't get paid. They get paid in free admission to the con, and that's really about it, unless you've been there so many years.
and there are some cons that do offer badge reimbursement. Some cons will offer rooms for staff so that you can attend. You can if you work X amount of hours, you get free hotel room for the weekend. You get free admission or reimbursed admission, and that's about it. You get a, the staffer shirts and stuff of that nature. Uh, and got sidetracked by the chat here. Ross in the chat says, "Can we talk about how bad anime studios are getting by putting shows on hiatus? Because one I'm looking forward to in April is now postponed for July because they said COVID."
And there's actually theories floating around that they're just using COVID as an excuse at this point. But I can't validate the legitimacy of that claim because I don't know. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in Japan.
I do know that I heard that there was another little uptick of COVID in Japan recently from some of the YouTubers that I watch. So how true that is, I can't say. I haven't been following that. I also know that some people were concerned by some of the English dubs being delayed recently. I do know that some very severe winter weather came across the entire U.S. I know that there was some severe frost and freezes that were happening down south in Texas and Oklahoma area, especially, which they're not prepared for.
Yep, and we've been getting quite a bit of rain here, even though it's not exactly severe weather. It's definitely been a wetter winter than normal.
Last weekend up here, we were at the Vermont Winter Renaissance Fair. Friday night, temperatures got with wind chill to -40, -40 below. Russ is not here in Arkansas, so they didn't get the winter weather in Arkansas. But I do know that some parts of Texas got ice and freezing rain, and um, thanks to B99.7 The Buzz in Oklahoma. Thank you, Christy Rothrock, for telling me about that station that I listen to at work on a regular basis. I hear what the weather is out there, and they were dealing with, um, you know, low 30 degree temperatures for like 2 weeks, which they're not used to. And unlike up here, um, in New York and New England and some areas where we are prepared for storms like that, where we have sanders and huge plow trucks and stuff. They don't have much of that equipment down there. So I can understand, I can understand people not being able to travel to studios, and if the ice was as bad in locations as I was hearing and people losing power, then there was a chance that they couldn't even do recording from home based off whether or not the voice actors or the engineers had power at their locations. Because I know COVID changed a lot of the ways that voice actors work, and a lot of people were able to record from home in home built studios. From what it sounds like now, a lot of the higher paying jobs and better opportunities are moving from the DFW area and heading more towards California. I think it was Sean Chiplock when we had him on the show. He was talking about how a lot of, especially game companies and a lot of these recording studios prefer in-person recording sessions now, since things have been opening up. So it still blows my mind how much detail Sean went into when he was on with us, and I still say that's probably one of the top 5 moments in AZR history in my mind.
Yes, that was very surprising.
And it's also like thinking back, and I say this every year, going, "Oh my god, I can't believe I've done this X amount of years," and knowing that we're closing in on year 9, man, have we had some interesting opportunities and some crazy things happen. And I sometimes kick myself for not jumping onto YouTube sooner. I will say that when I left Hazy Radio, I probably should have looked into figuring out how to do the show on YouTube back in year 2 instead of waiting until year 7.
I agree. I would think we may not be, I think we'd be getting paid by YouTube at this point.
Hopefully. But I think we've done a good job at, keeping things entertaining enough, bringing on some great guests, and I need to get back into reaching out to uh, other guests outside of the normal roundtable of people that I tend to fall back on. I need to look back through the box of business cards I have. And when I say a box of business cards, this thing is pretty full of business cards. And reach out to some of the artists and vendors that have intrigued me over the years and see about getting some of them on the show. Plus, we need to find some new cosplayers. If you've got cosplayers in your area that you would think would be a good fit for the show, let us know. We are always looking for more guests to bring on. And as much as we love bringing on the voice actors all the time, we cut our teeth and started the show by including everybody from conventions, the cosplayers, the vendors, the artists, the gamers. And I don't want to lose sight of that. I feel like I kind of got very voice actor heavy towards the end of the year, especially with Genshin Impact. Um, so I need to get back out and finding more cosplayers and some more cool people just to have on the show. So if you're, and like Ross, I know you're out in Arkansas. If you have cosplayers out in your area that you think might enjoy coming on the show and showcasing their talents, reach out to them, tell them about us, and see if they'd be interested in joining us, and have them get in contact with me either through YouTube, through email, through our Facebook page. Always looking for more talented people. I see so many great cosplays from around the U.S. and around the world, really. Same thing goes for you, Darren. If you know some cosplayers, or if you're able to get out to cons this year, and you see people who have some amazing cosplays, hand them business cards. I know I've sent you some.
Yeah. And based on what I've seen so far, I will likely be attending. I will likely be attending Anime-Zing this year. We shall have to wait and see.
You should fill out a press form. See if you could get in as press and do some coverage of the show.
I'll have to see how to apply because that's one thing about Anime-Zing that I'm not 100% sure.
And Ross says, I don't know until cons come along. I did find out that William Shatner is coming to Arkansas Comic Con in September. That's kind of cool. And speaking of guests, I've got to go. Let me get into my email here because Kineticon, I'm on their newsletter, and unfortunately, I'm not able to attend Kineticon this year, which kind of breaks my heart because that is a convention I absolutely love attending. But they have announced 5 guests thus far. And those guests include Nicholas Roy, and that's spelt Roye. So Nicholas Roy, Ryan Bartley, Stephanie Sutherland, Sean Chiplock, and Kelly Baskin. Obviously, 2 of those names we know really well because they have been guests on the show. I'm kind of curious. Like the last 3 they announced were all basically Genshin Impact voice actors, but Sean Chiplock and Ryan Bartley are both ReZero. So I'm kind of curious. Are they going to bring in like Brianna Knickerbocker, who voiced Rem? Because you have Ram and you have Subaru. So you have the pink-haired maid. Will they have the blue-haired maid's voice actress make it? And yes, Ross, I did hear the news about one of the Genshin voice actors, and there has been a huge fallout to that person. Another sexual harassment case, this time on a Genshin Impact voice actor, Darren. I don't know if you've heard about that or not.
I've not.
But apparently, from what I'm hearing, the accusations and the fallout to the said voice actor is on levels of him being dropped like Vic Mignogna was dropped.
Oh my.
Now, I haven't seen many of the reports. I haven't delved deep into it because I haven't had the time. But I did hear about it, and I've heard a lot of the backlash of people who had him scheduled to appear on podcasts and stuff like that canceled. And even some of the other Genshin voice actors have cut ties from what I have heard. And this is all coming from a third party. I don't have definite yeses or nos or anything like that on there. This is just what I've been hearing. Ross says apparently he was talking to young girls in chats. And going back to Kineticon, um, we were talking about staffing at conventions. Kineticon is one of those ones. Says staff benefits include tier 1 day 6-hour commitment, membership reimbursed, or a Kineticon merchandise booth credit of $120, one staff t-shirt value of $20, additional shirts available for purchase. A tier 2 staffer for 2 days committed of 12 hours, you get membership reimbursement, um, or Kineticon merchandise booth of $120, the staff t-shirt, and you get a $87.50 per diem. So they would actually pay up to, and that's a max of $175. Tier 3 is an 18-hour commitment, which you get the membership reimbursement, 2 staff t-shirts or 2 managers polos, and paid 91.667 per diem, max of $275. Tier 4 is 4 days, 24 hours commitment, so 6 hours each day. Membership reimbursement, 2 staff t-shirts or manager polos, and $106.25 per diem, max of $425.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that one actually pays off to be a staffer at.
And excuse me, for animazement, the volunteer options they have is a AZB. AZB volunteers and attendees, you got to purchase the badge. Um, and then the benefits, no set hours. You can volunteer as much or as little as you want. Costumes may be worn while volunteering. Earn an exclusive AZB button after your first shift while supplies last. Work 6+ hours to earn an Animazement t-shirt. Work 14+ hours to earn a badge for next year's Animazement. And then actual staff, they are experienced volunteers assigned to a specific vision. They must work a minimum of 25 hours total between Thursday and Sunday. Previous convention experience as an AZB is preferred, 12 hours plus. And potential benefits: staff shirts, weekend badge, staff meal plan, parking, and hotel space.
So if you've ever thought about volunteering and helping out with your local conventions, there are some benefits to it. In all honesty, I have thought about in the past volunteering to work at Kineticon as opposed to being press. I know one year they were looking for liaisons to be with guests and stuff, which I think would be a lot of fun, especially with the connections that we've had and the people that we've talked with. Uh, Ross says that he got to buy. What does it say there? I got to buy my favorite show I've been wanting to have for a few years now. It was 19% off, so it was $30 when I paid for it. Total of $37, so I'll get it later next week. And he said, I am so happy I ordered Sakura Trick for my birthday.
Oh Lord, Roth, you really purchased that one? What is Giga's favorite thing about cute girls doing cute things, Doug?
He hates it.
No? Or you have gay girls doing cute things, and that is Sakura trick.
I have not seen it. I don't know anything about it.
Have you heard of Citrus?
Yes.
Okay, this one came out several years prior to Citrus. Similar, not exactly the same, but basic general principle of Yuri.
Okay.
And
Uh,
also the one you've probably seen the one scene that of course is anime logic. Going from one balcony to the other because anime logic.
yep. On that note, it is time for us to say good night. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Loved seeing the active chat. We'll give one last update on the Super Bowl. It is currently 35 all with under 3 minutes left.
Oh wow.
So
So in other words, a good game.
this really could go either way, and it looks like Philadelphia has the ball.
So we could be in overtime.
So that there is a chance. But on that note, until next week, we currently don't have a guest lined up just yet, but we could get one. If not,
Yeah.
we'll have more random open chat with the awesome people in the chat room. If you're listening to us in podcast form and you want to join us, we are live on Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to come into the chat room. Say hi to us over at our YouTube channel. We love chatting with everybody. Also, if you want to support the show, you enjoy what you've been watching and listening to, head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/anime-zing radio and feel free to donate to help support us. Thank you to all the supporters on Patreon uh, who have backed us thus far. All the money goes to A, helping us improve our equipment, B, helping us get to conventions to get better coverage of these conventions so we can provide better content for all of you, our viewers and listeners. So really, thank you so much. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel and you're interested, just search for Anime-Zing Radio on YouTube and you can see all of our content, live shows, and some of the exclusive stuff that are YouTube only. So definitely come over, check that out. If you do subscribe to the channel, our goal is hitting 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and we can't do that without your help. So definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share with your friends. Until next week, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Enjoy the week, and go Eagles.
Night.